I think this is actually to your advantage in capturing this nomination, because I think the country likes a strong man, even though we were kind of pretending we didn't for a while. Yeah. And I think Democrats are in need of a strong man. I mean, I think too many in the party have gone along with the no, we have to be, everyone's toxically masculine and we have to overcorrect the other way. And they keep putting out.
I don't know the words to Kumbaya. So here's my thing is, one is when having worked for both President Clinton and President Obama. And if you look at it, and also an avid reader of presidential history in general, there are three qualities a president and a presidential candidate have to project: strength, confidence, and optimism. Nobody, if you look at history, Kennedy versus Nixon, just go through it, we never nominate the weaker or the more indecisive or the less optimistic, just full blown. Second, and then that's on a comparative basis. And second, winning is important. And I do think there's a currency in our party, and this is my theory of the case at least, where both candor, authenticity, and strength have a currency and have a blame. I kind of say that, and then there was an article the other day, and I forgot what paper it was, either the Washington Post or Politico, that said Democrats were studying authenticity. Well, you can't study authenticity either. That's like such a kind of what's wrong? You can't manufacture your authenticity. You either are who you are or you're not, and I'm comfortable with who I am.
They're studying, too, how to speak to young men.
Yeah.
Do you know why they're doing that?
Well, one is there's a simple, they've lost it with young men for a whole host of reasons. And the other thing is because you date your time there, I'd say basically COVID forward, maybe even a little before that, our party had everybody, including ourselves, walking on eggshells. It was so PC, you couldn't even, God forbid, you had a thought privately to yourself and you were scared and jumped, and literally you had this kind of flinch all the time. And that's ridiculous. And people did not, and not just young men, it was also, if you look at the data, even young women were tired of basically just a PC type thinking and talking about stuff, and also this idea that you had to walk on eggshells. Mm-hmm. But the truth is, Republicans have the same kind of thing where people jump on them all the time, et cetera, inside their own party.
Mm. They're not PC, though. It's for different issues. I mean, if you criticize President Trump within the Republican Party, depending on who you're talking to, you could get blowback. Though I think the Republicans are more fractured and always have been than Democrats.
It's always.
I feel like Democrats stick together.
We both admire the other party's sense of loyalty.
So do you feel like Democrats are more fractured internally in general as a group than Republicans are?
Well, it's kind of Mark Twain's original. I'm a part of no organized party. I'm a Democrat. Mm-hmm. Look, I think Democrats, as you can see recently, have a little bit of a firing squad on the circle. Take a look recently. People, you can say whatever you want, and I have my disagreements, a lot of them, countless with President Trump, but he has brought us a level of discipline and loyalty. Take a look at this. On the big, beautiful bill, which I have my own criticisms of, people have voted for something they criticized, and now, as soon as they've done it, they're trying to airbrush the record. Take a look at Senator Hawley. He's now trying to eliminate all the Medicaid cuts that he just voted for.
That was a big
So, has the president brought loyalty? There's an example A of what kind of loyalty he's brought.
Do you feel like the Dems have changed on the over-the-top PC language police? I mean, because that's trickled down. I know you care deeply about education. That's trickled down into my kids' single-digit education all the way up through high school.
Well, some elements, yes, and some elements not. This is what does, when you get to education. Well, I mean, to me, at another point in my life, early, before I decided to go into public service or politics, I was going to be an early childhood educator. That's what interested me. My dad was a pediatrician. It was something that drew me. And there is this kind of, the fundamentals of education we have missed. We now have the worst reading scores in 30 years, the worst math scores, and we're focused on everything but the most important thing, which is why you have 3 children, I have 3 children, why parents send kids to school to support the type of education we also try to do at home. And we've gotten focused, as I said, on things like bathroom access rather than classroom excellence. We've gotten focused, and I'm sensitive, to one person's pronoun versus the other 35 kids in the class that don't know what a pronoun is. And I'm sorry, 35 kids not knowing what a pronoun is, having your worst reading scores or math scores in 30 years, we have a crisis on hand. going back to Ronald Reagan's time where Bloom wrote the report, A Nation at Crisis, we're back to where we started. And we better focus on the priority. This is tomorrow. These are our kids. And I do think not just Democrats, but everybody, from the naming of a school to bathroom access to who's playing in what sports, and we've lost sight of the forest for the trees. And I think that's really, we're supposed to be the adults and take care of our kids and nurture them.
Oh, I don't disagree. We need to work on the basic reading and math scores. But I feel like the Democrats are the ones who introduced things like pronouns and the bathroom access. And those of us on what I call the side of sanity stood up to say, no, you're not putting your 6-foot tall boy in my daughter's 8th grade soccer class or gym class. And that doesn't make me the one trying to ignore what's important about math and reading. It's a Democrat-created problem.
Well, let me back you up a little. Not wrong about those examples. And we have I want to say one thing here and do a shout out for Mississippi. It's called the Mississippi Miracle. 10 years ago, they started this. Very tough demographics. Their reading excellence, unbelievable. Alabama on math. And I would nationalize that. I would say we're taking this at large because they've shown with some of the toughest constituencies, poor kids, children from single-parent homes, black kids, to make major gains in both math and reading. That's A. B, yes, Democrats played a role, but there's also politicization, culture wars by Republicans on what topics we're allowed to talk about, how we're allowed to talk about them. Do I think Democrats led that in kind of this whole pronoun debate? No doubt. And that's why they basically, and it's gotten us sidetracked. And we're stuck in a cold, not only a party, but more importantly, a country. And it's why, to be honest, I have my own view on what I would do on education. I call it TARD if I could. T for technology. And we should get kids ready with AI capabilities. A for attendance. We have a massive post-COVID attendance problem. It's triple digits from where it was. And I would have a national, more than 7%. You repeat the grade.
And absenteeism in a lot of the big cities is up to 30% right now.
You have kids graduating high school with a 20% absentee rate. That means they're not graduating. They don't have the skills to go on to college, and it's going to be remedial education.
We're pretending.
Right. R for reading, and using the Mississippi example to blow it up nationally, take it to every state. And T for truth. Parents should know where their kids are every grade level on national standards and where their kids' schools are at meeting those national levels for every grade. To me, if you do that type of thing, we can start to focus again on the most important thing. Why I, as a parent of 3, why you as a parent of 3, why a parent of 2, 1, whatever, send those kids to school. It's why parents move, like I say, as a mayor of the city of Chicago. You know how I knew a neighborhood was doing well? On the real estate forum, they would say they're here in this school district. Mm-hmm. That meant that school district became a magnet for that area. And to me, that's the most important thing, because we live in a time where you earn what you learn. And we need to ensure that every child has a chance to live up to their potential. And it starts at school, but I fundamentally believe there are 3 doors a child walks through that will explain their future. The front door of the home, the front door of the school, and the front door of the place of worship. And if those 3 doors are aligned, I don't care your zip code, I don't care your family background, I don't care your income. That child's got a future. Mm-hmm.
You know, I love hearing that, and I think we need to get back to that kind of a focus. I have my doubts, because my own experience has been with a rising, as they say, about to go into 6th grade, 9th grade, and 10th grade, is there's just been so much ideological nonsense shoved down their throats. And we came out of New York City privates. That's where we were up until we fled in 2021 to get away from that and move to Connecticut. But it was so over the top, Rahm. I mean, you want them to focus on reading. Now, obviously, New York City private schools are elite schools. They don't have to worry about reading scores and math generally there. But my point is, in these schools, my boys' school, they took 3 weeks to devote to transgenderism. 3 weeks at an all-boys school trying to get these boys to spend time on whether you're sure you're a boy, might you not be totally sure, raise your fist, 5 if you're totally sure, 4 if you're only a little. I mean, it was crazy showing them videos of men and boys and skirts and dresses and makeup. crazy indoctrination. Right. And it's not just New York City, so it's like, to me, it's so much more than a culture war. You're messing with a child's mental health when it's abusive.
Look, again, I'm going to get back the 3 doors. Your kids are going to be okay. They come from I don't know you, they come from a loving home, and they have the support. Basically, school backs up the education of child, which is my one, if I can take a side note. I totally hate this term homeschooled. Every child's homeschooled. Every child. It's a horrible term because it assumes that, no, every child's homeschooled. The school reinforces the capabilities that the home nurtures. And the other door, the place of worship, which is important for a child's total character development.
Very true.
Okay, now, was and is and does it continue cultural wars in this country? Yeah, it does. I happen to think it happens on both sides. That's the way I look at it, and et cetera. Things that like topics like slavery that are totally kind of trying to be airbrushed out of history books. That's a cultural war. You may not see it the same way. I think you do. The fact is, we teach kids, and we should basically focus on the fundamentals and get back to the fundamentals. I do think as it relates to, and I did this as mayor 2016, ambassador I worked with, you got an issue and you're working through on your pronoun, et cetera. I respect that. I come from an inclusive kind of culture, but it is not the preoccupation for the rest of the class. The preoccupation for the class.
So you want the schools to stop pushing that stuff?
Here's my thing. Look, in 2016, I signed and passed an ordinance in City Council as it relates to bathroom access. But my focus as mayor was on graduation rates.
But just to be clear, in that you were on the side of the trans people having access to the bathroom of choice.
We dealt with that. It was an issue.
I'll give you that. Trump was also on that same side back in 2016, but has changed. Have you changed?
No, my position, not from an inclusive standpoint. My point is, though, it's not the dominant issue.
I get it.
And so, to me...
But to a lot of us, it's really important.
I get that, and you'll make choices.
Well, that's why I'm trying to nail you down on where you are.
I got what you're trying to do, and I'm trying to be the ballet dancer I was.
Since President Trump was sworn in, his administration has made enormous progress at a breakneck pace. But don't forget, while they're moving mountains for the good of the nation, you've got your own personal savings to worry about. And one of the best ways to look after your savings is through diversification, particularly with gold, like from Birch Gold Group. In the past 12 months, the value of gold has increased by 40%. OMG. Central banks continue to bolster demand for gold by buying in record quantities. Global instability and tension is high, and Birch Gold makes owning physical gold extremely easy. Easily convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold, or buy some to store in your home safe. Just text MK to the number 989898 and Birch Gold will send you a free info kit on gold. There's no obligation, just useful information. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, take control of your savings today. Text MK to the number 989898. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.